Good evening, this is Keith Hall, and today we're going to be continuing on with our discussion regarding how pivot tables work using Excel 2016. And we'll be continuing on with the pivot tables areas, and we're going to be talking about the last section of the pivot tables area, which will be the filters area. Now, the filters area will allow the user to filter the entire pivot table by selecting uh, options that we put into the filters area. So it'll allow, in the example on the next slide, we're going to be taking the year field and placing it into the filters area. And again, this gives the user the option to apply a filter to the entire pivot table. As you can see here, these are the pivot table areas, and we're going to select one of the data source fields, which is year, and we're going to place it into the filters area down here. And as we do that, it creates a section above the pivot table called, in this case, year. And then if you select this drop down area, it's gonna list all the unique values for this field. So as you can see here, when you select the drop down arrow here, it's gonna give you the option of always, it'll give you the all option always, and it's going to list the individual unique values for this field from the data source table. And again, once you select one of these choices, it's going to filter this pivot table based on what you select over here. So now when I select the 2014 from the year field over here, the entire pivot table is then also filtered for only the rows in the source table that contain the year 2014. So in other words, if you go to your source table and you filter that source table by this particular column and select, in this case, 2014, it's going to give you data. It'll return data based upon that selection. And what it's going to do is, let me bring this down here. What it's going to do is the pivot table then will match up with your source table. In other words, when I filter the source table based on year 2014, you'll have a total value down here, and it also matches this total value over here. Now, this source table over here, I just didn't format the column for 2 decimal places, but it's actually the same value. So in other words, the cells in the values area, which in this case are what we put in the values area for the pivot table, is the sum of the revenue. It will include the filter when it is calculated. So over here, we'll do this as another example. We're going to filter the source table based upon 3 different fields. So we're going to do it for the year for 2014. We also want to filter it by the quarter. We selected quarter 2, and we've also selected the South region. So if we come back over to the pivot table, that includes not only just the year 2014, but all the quarters, you could see that the individual values, in this case, we look at the Q2 column, we look at the South region over here, and the sum of the revenue for Q2 year 2014 for the South region will equal 1702, and it matches that up with the source table when we filter that out. So I hope this tutorial helps you better understand how the filters area works in pivot tables and how you can display data matching what you are looking for. I want to thank you for stopping by today, and always look for new tutorials on pivot tables in the future. Again, you can navigate to this URL, which will be in the description below this video, to look at all the tutorials I'll be doing regarding Excel pivot tables and dashboards. Again, thank you for stopping by. Please share it with your coworkers or anyone else you think may benefit by watching this. Thanks again. I'll see you next time. Bye now.